Hey there, this is Hunter with the Kingdom Business Owner Season 2. I have my good friend James Merkley on the podcast today, and we're talking about marketing, we're talking about identity, we're talking about success, but man, there's a couple nuggets in here specifically about storytelling that I guarantee will bless your business, so tune in today. All right. Well, hey, James Merkley, man, I'm so excited to have you on this podcast. Man, just to hype you up for a second, you're one of the most humble men that I've ever met in my life. Oh. Stop, but don't stop. Yeah, man, I have a lot of respect for you. I love that I get to call you friend. And man, I just learn a ton about you and about myself every time I'm with you. I'm like, man, I just want to be like you when I'm big. So anyways, man, welcome.
Well, thank you, man. Well, vice versa. I think like you inspire me in so many ways, just the businesses that you've built, the way you service the community and just your teams and just the way you love on people. Like you just walk into a room and love people and inspires me to do the same, man. So vice versa.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And we're both big Chelsea boot fans. So yeah. I'm glad I didn't. It might have been awkward if I wore mine today. It might have been a little bit
probably
weird.
Would have outshone mine. These are a little dusty, a little worn down. These boots were made for walking, you know?
Well, dude, I know you well, but obviously a lot of our listeners don't know who you are. Give us the 60-second overview on who James Merkley is.
Yeah. So born and raised Northern Colorado, Fort Collins originally. And my wife and I live here now in Johnstown area. So we're still local rooted. My son is 3 and almost 4, which is crazy. Yeah, man, was a professional musician for about 10 years and served as nonprofits along the way. It was kind of like a gig lifestyle. And started StoryPath in 2020. Weird year to start a business, but that was when we did it. And so we've been running the agency play since then, marketing for businesses, using story as our vessel to empower their marketing strategies. And it's been fun, man. We've just been servicing nonprofits, servicing clients, and just hopefully making the world a better place as we go.
Come on, man. Well, you do our marketing at the Foundry, and I'll tell you this is like a little plug. Yeah, you guys are the real deal. The way that your brain works, I'm like, man, I want to just give you all of the stuff, like just run with it, man. And so, yeah, if you have a business that needs some marketing, James is the guy.
Thank you, dude.
Okay, so tell us about why marketing. Why was marketing the thing that you got into that was like, man, this is how I really want to serve people with this outlet?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in 2020, I had a background in visual storytelling, so creative media, video production, photo production. And in 2020, a friend of mine, he was a mortgage lender at the time, he hit me up for a project that he wanted to do to highlight local businesses and amplify his business at the same time. And he's like, hey, you know anybody that does video? And I'm like, kind of sheepishly, I'm like, dude, I'll do it. Like, he's like, what do you charge? And I'm like, the homie hookup, bro. Let's do it for free. And I think we did it for like, he bought me some coffees and some gift cards along the way. And like, it was a really powerful result that came out of that project for not just his business, but the community of Windsor. And that was the first time that I had seen visual storytelling paired with dynamic strategy come together and yield results. I wish I had more business acumen to track the data.
Yeah.
But I at least have a really cool story out of it where I watched my buddy's business transform. A couple of years later, we were at a beach house in Florida, just hanging out, our family's on vacation. And I asked him like, dude, did you track any of that data? And he's like, no, man, I didn't. But I'll tell you this, like if we didn't do that project, we probably wouldn't be here today. And so that was really cool to see not only the community get imprinted and impacted by marketing, but also my buddy's business. He was able to transplant his family back to Nashville where they wanted to buy their dream home. And just his business grew and just all these different things came out of that one kind of epicenter. And from that moment forward, I was like, you can use story to empower marketing and yield results for your future, your family, your friends, your community.
So good.
It's pretty powerful. So
it's addicting. I mean, when I was running my agency, man, there were like when we would get wins for people and it was like astronomical, it'd be like, oh my, I want to do this for forever. Like this is the coolest thing. I mean, it really is addictive.
Yeah, it is. And I think there's a misconception that a lot of agencies aren't trying to win for their clients. And it's sad to me because most agencies, when I talk to agency owners or other agencies, members behind the scenes. That's what we're trying to do every single day. Win for our clients. We're not just trying to take dollars. We're trying to win.
Yeah. So good.
And it is really addicting. It's fun.
Dude, for sure. Man, let's get into the good stuff. I'm curious, how does your history with knowing Jesus and the Bible and the stories that are like transform souls, transforms hearts, how has that impacted how you integrate that in marketing? Because like we're both storytellers, and I just wonder if part of that is like, man, we've seen our lives transformed through the story of the scriptures. So I'm curious, how have the two intersected?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I can't see my own personal story and the story of the gospel as separate things. Like I've talked with many people and they ask me, why do I believe what I believe? And I'm like, because I've had too many experiences, too many encounters, too many things that just are inexplicable unless I just lean on this thing that I've had in my life. I don't know if you grew up in the church world or in a Christian household, but there was a lot of moments in my life where I had to make kind of executive decisions for my life to say, is this worth pursuing? Is this worth believing in or not? Because it's one way or the other. And I had too many experiences that said, how do I just discount this miracle, this thing, this encounter, and go backwards? Like I can't.
Yeah.
So it's just been this kind of locomotive steamrolling ahead in relationship with Jesus that I can't say no.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate how God has transformed my life continually over my years, because he doesn't let me have just, I don't know, kind of like moderate experiences. Like these are like experiences that I cannot just rationally explain away. I had a friend who was agnostic at the time, I guess. And I told him, I was like, dude, I kind of envy you some days because you get to kind of choose and shape what you believe. And I can't really do that. Like I have all these experiences that God gave to me that are concrete and they don't go away. And so it's woven. This faith is woven into everything I do. Like StoryPath, we service nonprofits. We give back to the community. We try and live, even if members of my team don't believe the same things verbatim that I believe, there's an ethos that we carry of giving back and doing positive things in this world, because I believe that anybody can do that, whether you follow Jesus or not.
It's good.
But at the end of the day, we wouldn't have had that ethos, that kind of methodology, if I didn't follow Christ first.
It's good, man. It's really good. Hey, real quick, just wanted to take a quick break in the podcast. Thanks for listening. Wanted to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, StoryPath Marketing. I deeply trust these guys because they do our marketing. I trust them. I believe in them, which is why I can vouch for them. StoryPath helps brands build meaningful pathways to their customers through the power of storytelling. A great story is powerful on its own, but when it's paired with strategy, creativity, and expert execution, it can literally transform businesses, strengthen communities, and create lasting impact. And so, they really want to bring stories to life through fractional CMO, project management support, AI-generated content, photo content creation, graphic design, SEO, social, the whole gamut of marketing these guys can do. And as a special offer for all KBO listeners, they're giving away 10% on the first 3 months of service when you work with them. And so we are very particular with who we bring on as a sponsor, but man, I trust these guys. So check out StoryPath Marketing. For the entrepreneur that's listening to this, that's like, man, I love Jesus. I'm running this company that's like my dream. It's my passion. I'm loving it. But our pipeline is dry. And I don't know how to serve God when our pipeline is dry.
Right.
Like, how do I do that? And a lot of times the answer is just killer marketing that fills up the pipeline.
Right.
And so what do you say to that person? If they're sitting across from you and they're like, man, this is what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I always come back to that epicenter of story. Like, what is the story of the business? And one of the most tragic things that I hear a lot is when a business owner is like, well, I don't really have a cool story. I'm like, it's your story. Like, that's yours. It's the one thing that like no one else has. And if you can amplify that story and tell it in a really dynamic way, the results usually speak for themselves. So I usually lead those entrepreneurs back to their own story. And this may be small business suicide to a degree, but I always try and convince people and teach people how to do it for themselves so they can see the value of somebody else doing it for them later.
So good.
But I really believe that no matter what happens with the future of technology, economic shifts, cultural shifts, story will drive the pipeline. It will always fill the pipeline. If you're telling your story, if you're doing it in a dynamic way, whether person to person or digitally or just in whatever capacity, it's always going to fill the pipeline because there's other people who are resonant with that story that say, hey, me too. Like, I can now trust you because we have the same kind of history. And so I always lead them back to that place first. And then from there, it's kind of cultivating, curating, how do you tell that story? We all know a good storyteller versus a bad one, right? You're at a party and there's that dude that walks up and he's like, starts telling that story and you're like, where's this thing going, dude? You have to take a couple more sips of that drink.
100%.
But then there's that dude that walks into the room and he starts telling a story and everybody like, they lean in and it's like, there's a gravity to it, right? And so there's an art to this. And when it comes to marketing and storytelling, there are techniques, there are art forms to this that you have to learn and you have to experience, and you have to get good at. It's not just something that anybody can do right out of the gate. Some people can, and they have an aptitude, but it's a learned thing. And so teaching people and showing people, hey, start with your story and then learn how to get good at curating that story for the right audiences, right way, right time, right space.
It's good. Practically speaking, if I'm like, yeah, I love that, I'm all in. How do I start to tell my story? I think I have my story for my business. I run an asphalt company.
Yeah.
We have a decent story. Do I just start recording myself? Like, what do I do?
Yeah. Start somewhere is always better than starting nowhere. Right. And like the nice thing is we live in a digital landscape where you can be on social channels for free. Right. The only thing that it costs you is your time and your energy. Yeah. And again, it costs you your story. Right. But you can get on social channels and start recording and posting and producing. And the beautiful thing as well about this digital landscape that we live in is that people actually want to hear about your daily life, your daily nuance, the daily nuance of your job. Like, what does it mean to lay asphalt every day? What does it look like? How does that relate to my life? Like, I sit at a desk and type away at spreadsheets all day. Maybe I want to be an asphalt layer, you know? That's good. And so a lot of business owners who think, I don't have something to tell to other people, I don't have a story to tell, I'm like, at least try, and you'll see if there's something there or not.
100%, man. I had a friend who convicted me. I was telling him why I wasn't posting on LinkedIn, and he's like, man, we have so many people that are just consuming content. We need more creators, and if God has asked you to have influence in this world, then like one of the most practical things you can do is start just sharing vulnerably online.
Totally.
I mean, my medium is LinkedIn. I don't have any other social media. That's where I'm posting.
Yeah.
And man, I've seen so much fruit from posting consistently week over week, month over month. Who people are like now a fan of like this podcast and some of the things, because literally I'm just posting, here's what I'm really bad at. Here's what I'm struggling with. Here's what went really well. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like always in the shower late at night thinking about like, oh, this would be really fun to share. I mean, I'm just kind of a nerd that way.
That's awesome.
But I think, man, even that's one like practical way. Like, dude, just 1 hour a week, you're writing out and scheduling out a couple posts.
Yeah.
Because we don't need more consumers. We need more people that are sharing authentically and vulnerably and boldly, man, about like what God's done in their story.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And sharing these things with those convictions will always transmute better than just half baking something, right? It's like, I notice when I produce content that's passion driven versus content that's not. So we actually at StoryPath, we partner with brands that we can ourselves become passionate about.
Yeah.
Like we describe it as being 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's like we're 1 foot in on their team. We're passionate about the growth of their brand, but also 1 foot out where we're expanding their brand into the community while we're expanding ours. And so we only partner with brands that we can do that because number one, if you don't have a connection to that story, trying to tell it is really tough. Like as a storyteller, it's really tough. And so something that could be practiced by a lot of entrepreneurs, I tell people all the time, is do a 15-minute tell your story into the mirror exercise. Once a week, once a month, once a quarter, something.
It's good.
Tell your story to yourself in the mirror. If you're not convicted by your own story, odds are good no one else will be. So learning the art of storytelling and saying to yourself, can I make myself cry with my story? Can I make myself feel inspired to face the day with my own story? Can I make myself feel convicted by my own story? Those sort of things. If you can't do it to yourself, you probably can't do it to other people. Good. And so learning these things, learning the art form of storytelling is really crucial.
So good. I just recently was on a phone call with this potential insurance guy that was trying to sell me I was looking at switching insurance. Anyways, on the phone call, man, he had just, it was a masterclass on selling me his story. Cause he was like, man, when I was a kid, my dad passed away and he did not have life insurance. And because of that, the result of that was we literally cannot provide for ourselves. We started to live in a trailer park home and like we literally didn't have enough money to live, enough money to eat. He's like, if my dad literally would have just had life insurance, this wouldn't have happened. My life would have looked radically different.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, you could take all my money. Like, I'm sold. You know, like your story is so compelling of why you would need life insurance for this example.
Yeah.
So anyways, man, it's such a tool. It's such a tool that we can use.
And I think like we have to remind ourselves too, from a kingdom perspective, like there are brands that have nefarious intent that tell stories really well.
Well said. Well said.
So why, as kingdom owners who have positive intent and we want to yield positive things for the world, why are we not telling our stories well? Because we're not just telling our stories, we're amplifying the story of the gospel through our stories. So we should become expert crafters of story in everything that we do.
So good. So good, man. I was thinking about this the other day in regards to marketing. I was meditating on Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. And then I was thinking about marketing. Do you ever wrestle with, like, man, we need to fill up the pipeline. We need more. And then also, man, what Jesus has asked us to if I lack nothing. Like, is there something to be said about having the right heart posture when marketing your business?
Yeah, dude. Yes. I come back to like, we can go out and till the soil and plant the seed and water the crop. And then we just wait. We sit there and we're kind of like, all right, when's the biology of that seed going to take root in the soil, stem up towards the sun, and then all of a sudden crop is yielded? When will that happen? Who knows? That's on God's timing, right? There are just things that are outside of our control that you can have the best, most well-crafted strategy and the best strategic plan and execution is perfect. And for some reason, it's not there.
Well said. Well said. And you can also fall in the theological ditch of, well, I had enough faith and I believed enough and I fasted enough and I did all these things and it still didn't happen, which is just bad theology. Like it just because you are praying more, like whatever, it doesn't mean that God's going to give you favor financially with your business. And so I think about this quote daily from John Piper. He says, my job is faithfulness. God's job is fruitfulness.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's it. Like if I have that, if my theology switches to that on a daily basis with marketing results or how I'm building relationships or whatever it is, I'm like, dude, that's it.
Yeah. Like coming back to yourself as well and saying, what am I missing? What am I needing to learn? Maybe there's a reason why God hasn't blessed me in this way. My business partner, Grayson, is really good at this, drawing us back whenever there's a decision that needs to be made, a hard decision, or just a decision that we need to learn as leaders. He always brings us back to like, what do we need to learn as leaders to be better in the next decision, right? And I think there's sometimes we look at the lack of results. We blame God and we say, God, why aren't you doing this? And God's like, well, because you're not learning this. I need you to learn this before I can bless this. It's kind of like when the Israelites were on the threshold of entering into the promised land and God kept them outside. And he literally told them, I'm not letting you in because this land will kill you. You're not big enough. You're not strong enough. You're not prepared enough. So if I let you in there, it will kill you. And so I think sometimes we're also kept from the blessings that we could be yielding because we're not either learning something, we're not prepared enough, or it's just timing. You know, God's timing is perfect. And sometimes we just have to wait on that.
So good, man. When you hear kingdom business owner, what comes to your mind? Yeah, that's like you talked about shower thoughts. That's the one that's like the revolving door of shower thought. I think to me, when I think of kingdom business owner, I think of people who are understanding that this world is finite,
but it's also worth everything. Like there's a reason why we're here. And that reason is to bring glory to God, to bring glory with our labor, to enjoy our labor, like to enjoy the fruits of our labor, to bless others with it. But it is finite. It's people who understand that like what is to come is greater, but what is now is so important. And I believe, and I'm mistaking where it is in the Bible, but Jesus talked about how the non-believers live with more urgency than the faithful. And it's because they see this as finite. They see this as like, this will conclude at some point. And so I might as well just live the best that I can right here, right now. And I think that's tragic how like a lot of believers don't live that way.
Yeah.
We don't live with a sense of urgency of like, yeah, this is finite for us too, even though we believe in something more. What if that doesn't exist? Are we living with urgency now? Right? So I think kingdom business owner to me is somebody who lives with a sense of urgency and purpose in every action, every output, knowing that this will eventually end. And what we're leaving behind matters. What we're setting people up for matters. The wins that we're experiencing for our clients matters. And we're doing it all for his glory.
So well said, man. So well said. I think where people get it so mixed up is that they think, well, kingdom business owner is someone that grows their business enough to where they can give a lot of money and be super generous. And that is maybe a portion,
right?
You know, and like love it. We want to cheerfully give. I'm all for that,
right?
But like they're missing so much. I love the sense of urgency piece, man, is money. There's this book. It's called Everything is Never Enough, and it's all about Ecclesiastes. And it talks about what you're talking about, man. Like there's this dichotomy that we should feel as believers, which is this urgency that, man, it's just a vapor. Like our life is just it's going so fast.
Right.
It's significant and also wildly insignificant at the same time. Like there's this like dichotomy. But man, if we can see the like where God is leading us in the midst of that, there's a lot of fruit that comes. So I love that. I love the urgency piece, man. How do you live that out?
Daily. I think like, you know, give us today our daily bread. We think of that as very not only expectational, but also just like we sit there and we just wait for the bread to come. And I actually see it very differently. It's like, give me today the opportunities that lead to my daily bread. Lead me in the steps, the breadcrumb trail that leads to that place of fruitfulness, God. Like, what do I need to do today to get to that point? I feel like it's not just expectational in terms of like the providence of God, but it's also expectational of us of like, I'm prepared, Lord, lead me where I need to go so that bread will come to me. It's both and I think like that's the lethargy of a lot of believers kind of drives me nuts sometimes. Well, God will do it one day. And it's like, maybe he wants to do it today. What are you doing to go out into the fields? Are you actively pursuing that? Are you actively preparing yourself to receive that? So I believe like every day could be your last day. So why not live it with that sense of like urgency and expectation of like, God has something today for me and for others. I'm going to see what it is. It also makes life, in my opinion, more beautiful because you just get to see things happen that are like, wasn't expecting that today. And
totally,
you know, that was pretty cool. So
yeah, man, the tension that I always feel is wrestling between the feeling urgent, but also not frantic.
Yeah.
And that's, man, I struggle with that because I regularly am either in the zone of I'm going 1,000 miles an hour or I'm going way past the John Mark Comer vibe of like just really slow and like maybe some too chillness. And I'm like, man, there's got to be an in-between of the urgency and not franticness.
Yeah.
So in your own walk with Jesus, how have you seen that?
Yeah, I kind of had this revelation. I feel like it was probably from God and just my own studies in tandem. And I was just kind of breaking down how Jesus lived. And I found three things that, like, in my opinion, stood out about how he processed and patterned and just postured his life. And the first thing he would do is he would go and meet the need. He saw the need, he would meet the need. it was one-to-one. Somebody was like, I'm dying. Cool, healed. I'm blind. Cool, healed. So he saw the need, he met the need. But then he would go step 2, he would call people towards transformation. Come follow me. Follow my example. Be a part of this thing. Turn your life away from sin. Go do this thing. Go be different, right? See the need, meet the need, call them to transformation and repentance. But then the last piece of the puzzle is retreat to the Father. He did that every time he needed to, every day, I would guess. He would retreat back to the solitude places, the places that no one saw, no one experienced but him. We only get one picture of what that place looked like in the garden. We only get one kind of depiction of what that would have looked like in his prayer closet. But that retreat was so important for him to just rinse and repeat that process every day of his life. And so I kind of do the same thing. I start my day with, retreat to the Father first. Just, what do you have for me today, God? Some days it's a beautiful conversation. Some days it's silent. Some days I'm like, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you right now, but I'm here. But I'm there, right? Then it moves into see the need, meet the need. What's my team need that I can meet today? What do my clients need that I can meet today? What do I need? What does my family need? What does my son need? My wife? What does just the community at large need? How can I meet those needs? And then what's the transformation, right? And it doesn't have to always be gospel centered, but like, is there a transformation that we can help people see and experience today? What can that be? And so like a lot of times that's sharing ideas for me. Like when I'm meeting people, some people hoard their ideas and they keep them to themselves. I'm like, I could be giving ideas to people just in my meetings with folks that could be transformational for them. I don't need to act on it. I tell people all the time, I'm an ideas guy for free. I'm an action guy for pay. And so like, I just go throughout my day and I just spread ideas like seeds. I'm going to give you this idea. I'm going to give you this idea. And I just kind of spread those around to see maybe that's the transformation that people need. And maybe that's going to help them see results. And so that's kind of the pattern. I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it by any means. I wouldn't even say I'm good at it, but learned in it.
So good. Man, that's such a helpful framework for people. Because I think so often, I talk to entrepreneurs that are trying to integrate their faith into their business and they just don't have a framework. They're like, man, I feel so disjointed my Monday through Friday. And then Sunday I feel like a little bit holy, but then Monday through Friday, I just am not, I don't feel like a righteous man because I'm worried about pay. I'm worried about our people. I'm worried about my clients. And so, man, having that framework really flips the script. I love that, man.
It's like the way that Jesus lived was so simple and yet so profound at the same time. Like, I think we all want to slow down. And I'm like, I look at what Jesus did. He didn't slow down.
Yeah.
That dude was moving.
Yeah.
So that's not the answer. We want rest. I'm like, Jesus was probably rarely rested. Right. He was always with somebody, always caring for somebody, always healing people. So that's not it either. It was just pattern. It was just rhythm. It was just kind of reacting and moving with the flow of the world around him, and then just reminding himself, I'm one with the Father.
Yeah, and there was a lot of flexibility in how he lived, because I can get in with the pattern and the rhythms and habits, but then when I'm like, man, I need to retreat and I need to get away from people, and then there's a need that comes up, I'm like instantly annoyed. But when we see Jesus, and he's like, there's a moment in Scripture where he's trying to get away, and then there's a need that comes up, and he's like, has compassion for them and moves towards them, even though he needs rest. Yeah. And I'm like, man, that is not me. Yeah. I'm helpful when I know that this is my pattern of trying to be helpful. But then when I'm like, I need to get away. Yeah. So anyways, that's good stuff, man.
Thank you.
That's really
a lot
good
of
stuff.
lessons learned in that process of, because I feel the same way. Like the anxieties and the pressures of entrepreneurship they're no joke. I mean, this is not for the faint of heart. Yeah, and I think that can become so weighty and burdensome if you allow it. And it's kind of supposed to be, but I mean, Jesus himself said it, come to me, all you who are weary, who are burdened, and I will give you rest. It's like, come to me, follow in the rhythms and the patterns of my grace, and I will show you how to live this life. So he gave us the answers. We just sometimes choose not to wield them for our own benefit.
It's really good, man. That's really good. Hey, just want to interrupt the podcast and give a quick shout out to Primal Bison. This is one of our sponsors, and I can vouch for them because I eat their stuff almost every day. My family and I eat their steaks, eat their ground beef, eat their sausage. It's 100% grass-fed bison. And man, these guys are the real deal. They're giving us a 10% discount to all listeners. Use the code Foundry10 to get 10% off of every order on bison. I can vouch for this because I am a pure believer in these guys being the real deal. So check them out, primalbison.com. What's the biggest thing, as we start to land the plane here, what's the biggest thing that you want a kingdom business owner to know? Like if you could give one nugget to that person, what would that be?
I think you said it perfectly earlier, where it's like the money you make is not the most important thing. The imprint and the impact is the most important thing. So the imprint on your family and the impact on your family, your friends, the community at large. What will you be remembered for is, in my opinion, what is the most important thing. Will you be remembered as somebody who made a lot of money? Or are you going to be remembered for somebody who just changed environments everywhere you walked? It was like you just took a step and it was like this blooming effect under your feet. I think that's the most important. And only each person individually can be the determiner of that outcome. In relationship with God and his providence, obviously. But yeah, the money, we will walk on streets made of gold one day. It'll be so unimportant that we will walk upon it. So we got to remind ourselves of that today.
Well said, man. Well said. The man that disciples me, Jordan Rayner, he had a quote that in regards to success. And he said, success for believers especially is the people that know you the most respect you the most. I just thought that was so interesting. Man, the people that know you the most respect you the most. It's really easy for me to put on a really good front in front of you. And I think I could get you to respect me just by like things I've done or like accolades or whatever. But if my kids don't respect me, my wife doesn't respect me, and that's an issue. Like I've lost, man. I've lost the game. Like my community, my peers respect me, but I've lost the game. And so I think there's something to be said about that too. You're just talking about, you could hit the mark, but you could hit the wrong target, and that's devastating.
Totally.
So devastating, man. Have you seen that come up in your life where you've hit the mark, but it's been the wrong target?
You know, it's interesting. I pray this frequently, and I almost feel like it's a dangerous prayer, but I pray to God. I say, if this is going to destroy me, don't let me have it. And that's a dangerous prayer. And I genuinely believe that God has kept me from certain things that would have destroyed my character, my marriage, my fatherhood, my business, something. And as I keep praying that prayer, it's almost like he kind of creates these guardrails. It's like it's what the Bible says, prepare your way or present your way before the Lord. He will make your path straight. That path, even though it's straight, it's doing this over time, and he's kind of guiding and directing you. And so I pray that frequently, where I do believe that he has protected me from things that would have been destructive to who I am as a person and my relationship with him. And so maybe it works for everybody. I don't know. It works for me, but
that's a bar, man. So I think someone needed to hear that for sure.
Cool.
That's really well said. Really well said. Well, hey, how can someone connect with you? They're like, they hear you. They're like, man, I love this guy. I want to work with this dude. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah. They can reach out to me at james@storypathmarketing.com. You can also just go to our website, and it'll eventually get to me via that vessel as well. And like I said, I'm an ideas guy for free. I'm a paid guy, or an action guy for pay. And so treat me to a coffee. Let's talk ideas. Let's talk about how to tell your story, amplify you to the right audience, right time. I love doing that stuff. So that's probably the best way.
So good, man. Well, James, so much respect and love for you, man. Thanks for giving me your time. Thanks for chatting Jesus and kingdom and business. And dude, it was a blast. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, dude. This was fun.